Okay, so over the course of our human evolution, over the course of 200,000 years, the humans that had the instinct or had the notion to guard their mates were the ones who developed jealousy and suspicion and everything else. And those apparently, because we still feel those things today, the humans that had those particular predilections, they reproduce more than the ones that didn't. So yeah, it's absolutely possible. There's an evolved revulsion response. I mean, you want to know, this is me spitballing here, but I think one of the reasons why men have a natural revulsion or a natural hesitation with single mothers or women who have already had kids and like wanting to sort of get involved with that woman, as opposed to if they have the choice between another woman who doesn't have any kids and she's just as hot as the other one, they're going to get with the one that doesn't, right? Well, of course, there's the resource drag that goes along with that, but there's a natural innate revulsion response to that we try to we try to socialize away. We try to create software to override that firmware, but there is a natural revulsion response because on some level of consciousness, men evolved an ability to sort of to stay away from women with whom, if they were to have sex and to potentially have a child, to know with certainty that that child is going to be biologically their own DNA in that child. Because that, if you think about the only thing that you're going to leave, the only thing that's immortal about a human being is his DNA. That's the only thing that's going to last when you're dead. When I'm dead, the only thing about me that still goes on is going to be the DNA that's in my daughter and then the DNA that's in my grandchildren, blah, blah, blah. That's the only part of Rollo Tomassi that's immortal. So you want to know why guys have always been concerned about having sons? Because that's how they can keep pushing and pushing their DNA into the next generation, right? Well, on a evolutionary scale, on a very just sort of sexual economic scale, it makes sense that men would be naturally sort of hesitant or revulsion response to women who already have kids with another man, because what they're doing is they're not only is the possibility exist that the baby that comes out of that womb is not his baby. Now, do we have DNA tests? Yes. But right up from the last 200,000 years until what, 1975, we didn't know that with any certainty unless you're white and the baby that comes out is black. Okay. That's a pretty obvious tell. Okay. We got that. But the thing is like the reason why we have jealousy responses and mate guarding responses and the difference between the reaction to infidelity between men and women is rooted in our evolutionary firmware and our imperatives, those evolutionary imperatives. Men, for the better part of our evolution, have always wanted to ascertain that the child that comes out of that womb is my fucking kid. That's why we have marriage. That's why we have fail-safes. Men create social fail-safes to ensure paternity. Oh, we live in a patriarchal society. Yes, because we need fail-safes to make sure that the baby is biologically our baby. That's why we have the power and the force and the physicality to do so, and we've done so for the better part of our human evolution. There's nothing shameful about it. We did what was pragmatic and practical. If we turned that into one-on-one monogamy, if we turned that into polygyny, where we have one man and many women, it suits ultimately reproductively. Who does that suit? It suits the man because the man is putting his seed into the next generation. The only thing immortal about him is going to be the children that are produced with his wife and his concubines, right? We have defined powerful men over the history of humanity by three fucking things. And by the way, this is also for the great apes and primates as well, okay? Territory, resources, and access to preferably virgin females, a lot of them. That's why emperors of China, dynastic China, had the forbidden city and guarded by who? Eunuchs with their cut off. So those dumb sons of bitches are there to guard the women and they can't fuck the women, and virtually guaranteeing that the emperor is going to breed with them and send his spore off into the future, right? That's one way of doing it. You go and you look at Genghis Khan, probably not probably on a lot of guys' shit lists during his time, but what is it? 1 in every 200 human beings on planet Earth can trace some sort of genetic legacy back to Uncle Genghis Khan. I really want to take like a 23andMe just to see if I'm in any way related to Genghis Khan. God, how awesome would that be? But probably not. I have no Asian. I don't know. I don't know though. I'm, unless something happened way back in the Viking days, I'm not sure. Unless we took some Chinese slave in the Viking days, I don't know. But those are the things that define a powerful man: resources, territory, and access to beautiful women. Whether you're like in the Amazon rainforest and some like hunter-gatherer tribe, the chief gets to fuck 4 or 5 women and you get one. Because he's the chief, he's the boy, he's the man, right? He's the alpha male. And then there's the kings, and then there's the emperors and everything else, right? So, and by the way, that's what primates do. Go read Alpha God by Dr. Hector Garcia, another masculine apologist, of course, but his data and I don't have to agree with his politics and his ideology, but his data is fucking like bulletproof. So I'll give credit where it's due. Do I think that some women want to cuck men? No, I don't think they want to. I think it's a mating strategy. Cuckoldry is a mating strategy. Again, it's getting the best seed from a sexy son's theory, getting the best seed from the alpha seed, beta need, alpha fucks, beta bucks. I wish we would have got it. I wish we could have like discussed that on this fucking fucked up, stupid ass debate that I was supposed to do on Wednesday. We never got to that. In fact, all it was you said this one time and now you're a liar about it. Like, can't we actually talk about alpha fucks and beta bucks? Because I'm going to fucking wipe the floor with you. No, you're a liar. Okay, well, fuck off. So when we're talking about like, do women want to cuck men? I don't think they necessarily want to cuck men. I think they in some ways see it as I think you're confusing desire with proximate outcome and ultimate outcome. Do women ultimately want to have a child that is genetically going to be able to survive into perpetuity? Yes. And again, if you'd like me to explain Sexy Sons theory in a nutshell, Sexy Sons theory, and this is by Robert Trivers, parental investment, Sexy Sons theory. Okay. So women select genetically superior men with physical, which is almost based entirely on physical protocol, looks, physical prowess, muscularity, blah, blah, blah. Height is another one. Because if they have a son with that father who has if the father has all those qualities, and they have odds are, the likelihood is that the woman will have a son that bears the same features as the father. Okay, height, muscularity, physical dominance, what we would stereotypically call alpha features. The idea is that woman is having sex with that guy because if she breeds with him, the likelihood that she will have sexy sons, meaning that they will be hot enough to, if dad was hot enough for her to want to fuck, that means Junior is going to be hot enough for other women to want to fuck. Ergo, her genetics go off into the next generation. That's the Sexy Sons theory. Okay. Now, the problem is that the guy who has all of those great qualities might not be a good provider or protector or parentally invested either. So the beta buck side of it might be lacking. And so if the long-term security is not there in that guy, she's got to find another guy who has that. So rarely do the alpha fucks and beta bucks manifest sufficiently in sufficient balance between the two, but in one man. And usually at the time that woman wants those. So again, is she plotting this? Is this something that's a cognitive process? No, it's not.